Welcome to this webinar for the online Masters Plant Breeding at Wageningen University. My name is Anja Kuipers and I'm Program Director for the Plant Sciences programs at Wageningen University, including this online Master. And today I'm presenting this webinar together with Jan Kees Goud. Jan Kees, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Jan Kees Goud. I'm a study advisor for all the students in the online plant breeding program. So if you can see that if you compare me now with my picture, that I'm still in my winter fur. So
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we start off with our presentation, we also like to get to know you a bit. So that's why we will launch a poll to ask where you are from. And then the options are you from the Netherlands, from Europe, or outside Europe? And you can answer. Type your answers in the chat. While you're doing that, I'll continue with an overview of the setup of today's webinar. I'll start off with some background information of Wageningen University. Then I'll introduce the Laboratory of Plant Breeding, who is the leading group behind this online plant breeding program. And after that, I'll continue with details of the online master itself. How the program is designed and set up, and also some specific details on the admission requirements, the tuition fee, etc., some administrative information. And after that, Jan Kees Goud will continue with information on more details of the program and the courses. And he will also explain a bit how the learning on the online platform looks like and how that works for students participating in this program. So maybe there are already some answers coming in the chat, Jan Kees?
Not yet. I think we have a small delay.
Ah, okay. Well, then I can explain a bit more on how international Wageningen University actually is. And that's why I've added this map here on this slide. In general, Wageningen University has a very high international number of students, coming actually from all over the world, especially in the plant sciences programs. And that's also what you see in the online master plant breeding. Any results yet, or still?
Yeah, answered. Let me see. Yeah, we have some results. So we see that about 70% of attendees is from Europe, and 30% is from a non-European country.
Yeah, so that's quite representative for the student population in the program itself as well. So it's good to have such an international audience attending today. That's really nice. So I'll start off with some information on Wageningen University. As you probably know or have read already on our website, Wageningen University always scores very high in international rankings. So, for example, we are #1 university in agricultural sciences, and in 2021 we were ranked 62nd best overall university in the world. And also within the Netherlands, we are actually one of the best, the best university according to the Keuzegids Higher Education, which ranks all the Dutch bachelor and master's programs. All our programs are accredited through the NVAO, which is the Dutch Flemish accreditation organization. And that's also holds true for the online Master of Plant Breeding, which is actually linked to the regular Master of Plant Sciences. As I already mentioned, there are more than 50% international students participating in this program. And over the years, we have built up a large alumni network with almost 100,000 alumni worldwide. And that's really a very interesting and attractive network to become part of as a student initially, and later on as an alumni, hopefully as well. In addition to the standings of Wageningen University, also plant breeding has always had high rankings, and it also has a 100-year track record in plant breeding. So actually the plant breeding department is a few years older and Wageningen University itself. So continuing with the plant breeding department. The plant breeding department is one of the largest within Wageningen University, covering fundamental research but also applied research to apply what's being developed. Novel developments in research are also applied for actual plant breeding purposes. So there's also a close connection with the industry. So the focus at the Department of Plant Breeding is on the characterization, conservation and use of genetic material from a wide variety of resources, existing cultivars as well as wild varieties. And in this cluster of plant breeding, academic research is combined with applied strategic expertise. And on the right-hand side of this slide, you can see all the topics that are being covered by the research done at the plant breeding department. So that also is a wide representation of all kinds of aspects that relate to plant breeding, from quantitative and qualitative aspects of plant breeding to improving biotic stress resistance, pest and disease resistance, as well as abiotic stress tolerance. For example, to develop salt-tolerant new varieties. Obviously, we also spend a lot of time on biodiversity and genetic variation, as well as on growth, development and quality of plants. And yeah, the main aim of the Department of Plant Breeding is to convert fundamental knowledge into applications for the breeding industry. So the Department of Plant Breeding is the largest department and host of the online Master of Plant Breeding. A few other departments, chair groups are also involved, but the main responsible chair group is the Plant Breeding Department. The online Master is a fully accredited master's degree. So after successful completion of this master, you will receive the the master's degree in plant sciences, which is the umbrella that also includes the online master. The online master was developed and started since 2015. The main aim for designing this program was to enable new target groups to participate in studying at master level. So the main aim of the online master is towards students who already completed a bachelor degree in a relevant domain, started to work in, for example, a breeding company or the broader breeding related industry, and want to upgrade their knowledge up to master level. And for that target group, the online master in plant breeding is an ideal program, because it enables to combine study with work and other activities, private life. It enables to study from home, and it also is designed to facilitate studying as a cohort. So like many old-style online studying, you had to do everything on your own. That's not the case for this online master. So there's quite a lot of group work involved, where you really interact with other students in the program, and there's always a lot of facilities as well to communicate with staff involved in teaching in this online master. This is the general structure of the program. You can also download this from our website. And the main aim of this slide is to show that all the courses are organized in blocks of few weeks, 4 or 5 weeks mostly. And in such a period, you can fully focus on one course at a time. I think Jan Kees will give further details of the program at a later stage. Yeah,
I can also do it now if you would like, a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a rough outline.
A rough outline. You know, the light blue blocks, they are the courses on plant breeding, or the real topical courses, so to say. The green blocks, they are skills. So I'll come back to that later, but these are like presentation skills, information literacy, etc. So they are spread throughout the program. The dark blue blocks are the Wageningen weeks, where you actually come to Wageningen for 2 weeks to have practicums, etc. Gray blocks are holidays, so mainly Christmas and summer holidays, and then orange are the re-exam blocks. So it goes from one course into the other right away.
Yeah. So in this, so the picture shows the composition of year 1 and year 2, where the courses are offered, and then because it's finally leading to a full master's degree in year 3 or year 3+4, depending on the time available for studying, you can fully focus on the master thesis and an academic internship. And this academic internship most often can be combined with your work when you are already working in a plant breeding company. So that's roughly what we offer through our online master. We also have some expectations from new students. Because it's a full master level program, you need to have a relevant academic background at bachelor level, and you need to have some bachelor level knowledge in the main areas that relate to plant breeding. You can see them here: genetics, plant physiology, and statistics. Also a bit of molecular biology is helpful, and often that is covered by a bachelor degree in biology, agronomy, biotechnology or plant biotechnology or something in the domain of life sciences. So it's quite broad, the type of programs that we prefer to see as a bachelor, but yeah, that enables also quite a lot of students to register for admission successfully. In addition to the bachelor degree, which needs to be relevant, we also require a grade point average of about 70% of the maximum scale. In the Netherlands, this would mean a 7 on a scale of 10. And on your website, you can find information of how this translates into the grading scales of a wide variety of countries. Because the master is fully taught in English, and we also have a really international audience participating, we also have an English requirement for which is being checked in the admission procedure. You need to qualify, for example, through an IELTS test with an overall score of 6.5 with a sub-score of 6 for speaking. And it is preferred to have relevant working experience in a domain related to or in the plant breeding industry. And with that, such a background, the program can really continue and get you additional knowledge up to master level to also boost your career. So before you continue, I just explained that it's really strongly related to working in the plant breeding sector, this online program. So we would like to know from you whether you are currently working in the plant breeding sector. So that's another poll question that you can answer to. You can simply type in the chat, yes, I am working in the plant breeding sector, or no, I'm working somewhere else, or maybe still involved in studying for the bachelor. So, while you are typing your answers in the chat, I'll continue with some information on the required background knowledge. Plant breeding actually is applied genetics and applied statistics. So in that sense, it's also really important that you have sufficient bachelor level background in genetics or statistics. I show on this slide the textbook on genetic analysis that we're using also in the online master. So it can be useful to maybe freshen up your knowledge of genetics and statistics. It can be that you already completed your bachelor several years ago and started to work. And with statistics knowledge especially, it tends to fade away when you don't actively use it. So to prepare for a successful start of the online master in plant breeding, it is strongly recommended to maybe already in advance start refreshing your knowledge by having a look at these textbooks on genetics as well as statistics. Both books are also used in courses of the online master, so you will need them anyway if you decide to start. Then another important block of information, obviously it's a university level study program, so you need to register, and that comes with study expenses. The tuition fees for European students for the upcoming academic year 22-23 is 2,200 euros per year. For EU students who did not complete another Dutch master's degree, and for non-EU students it's slightly above 10,000 euros per year. These are the expected tuition fees for the upcoming academic year. It's slightly subject to change, but this is more or less what you can expect. And then in addition to that, you also will need to pay for travel and living costs for those 2 on-campus weeks in year 1 and year 2 of the program. Yeah, we can imagine that it's not always easy to get funds available to pay for the tuition fees. There are limited possibilities for grants, and a very nice overview is available through this website on studyinholland.nl, scholarships/grant finder. Although it's important to realize that these grants are always highly competitive. So there are quite limited possibilities, but it's worthwhile trying. And it can also be that the breeding company that you are working for is willing to pay part or all of the tuition fees, because they really want to invest in further development of their staff members. So yeah, this is basically what you need what you can expect regarding tuition fees, and yeah, it can be an important thing to realize as part of making up your mind on whether or not to start this program. Then we continue with the poll. Did you get some?
Yes, we get quite some answers, and most of the audience is not working currently in the plant breeding sector, and 79%, and 21% is actually working now in the plant breeding sector. So for those of you who already work in the plant breeding sector, we developed the program with you in mind. So, so you will have, let's say, at the start, a slight advantage in already knowing the world around you, the working environment. So everything that you learn will, hopefully fall into place. But to the others, I would say, we are offering a fully accredited plant sciences master, which trains you to be working in the plant breeding sector, either in the companies or also, what's a possibility, in the academic world. So welcome to you all.
Yeah, and I think Jan Kees, the next part is up to you.
Thank you, Anja. So if you would consider joining the online program, then there are some things that we expect from you as well. First of all, what's good to have is good computer skills, or someone close by that you can ask for advice. Because we are not there next to you to help you, and sometimes you need to install a program or make things work, etc. on your computer. For example, the system that we use for having online exams, you need to install it, and it's just good that you have somebody close by, or that you are kind of not completely computer unknowledgeable, but that you can find your way also on the internet, etc. What's also a requirement is that you have access to broadband internet. So some participants had that in their work environment, so they can study there, but didn't have it at home, which is not so nice, for example, if you are in COVID quarantine. So because then you cannot study at home. So it's really important that you also have that at the house where you mostly stay. So, and you are most flexible to work also during the weekends or during the nights, etc. Another requirement is that you are committed to engage in a virtual learning community. So you will not be studying on your own and just at your own time whenever you feel like, but you will be part of a group of students that starts a course together, goes through the weeks together, and sometimes have work on reports together with a deadline. You'll be able to ask questions to the teachers through our online system. So they are, during those weeks that the course runs, they are available, and that's, let's say, the way to study. So you have to be able to work with deadlines, and also you have to be willing to take part in the online exam system. And that is a little bit affecting your privacy, because during the exam your computer will be monitored continuously. And that's something that you need to get used to. Of course, for you it's very advantageous, because else you would have to travel many times to Wageningen back and forth, and that will cost a lot of time and money, of course.
Jan Kees, maybe before you continue with the next slide, I see we got a question still on the previous slide on the tuition fees.
Okay.
So maybe I'll answer that before you continue with the program.
Great.
So the question was, aren't the tuition fees per year cut in half because of the part-time program? And they are for the non-EU students, because non-EU students that come to campus for a master have to pay much more than these 10,000 euros. So that's close to 20,000. But for EU students, it's one tuition fee independent of studying full-time or part-time, and that has to do with Dutch regulations. So there's quite a lot of subsidy for EU students towards the tuition fees, and therefore we are not allowed to go lower than these 2,200 euros per year. So that's the answer to that question.
Exactly. Okay, thank you, Anja. So let's take a look a little bit more into the program. So the first 2 years we offer courses indeed at a half-time study load of 20 hours per week, and you will start with some basic courses on plant breeding, the principles of plant breeding, genetics, plant pathology and disease epidemiology, plant biotechnology, etc. And then you will come to Wageningen for the Wageningen Practicum weeks. After that, you continue year 1 with more advanced courses like advanced statistics and the use of markers. And the second year, it starts with more advanced courses on plant breeding, like breeding for abiotic stress tolerance, breeding for resistance and breeding for quality, and then followed by more specialized courses. For example, experimental design and data analysis. This is a follow-up course of advanced statistics, and a course on genomics and bioinformatics. And after that, you again come to Wageningen for the Practicum weeks. And then almost at the end, there is a project called Design of Breeding Programs, and there you will actually design a plant breeding program together with a group of students. So you think about all the aspects of a plant breeding program, and you put that together in a report. And for that you use all the knowledge of all the previous courses, and also several skills of working together online and project management, for example. So this is, let's say, the theoretical part. After that, still two components are essential for your master diploma. A master thesis. So this is an academic research project of half a year full-time equivalent. So it's really a large project which you perform under the supervision of a Wageningen staff member. So it can be performed in Wageningen, so that's what all the students of the on-campus program do on a standard basis. So they seek contact with the staff member and they work together with the staff member in the research projects under close supervision for half a year. But for the online students, we can think of different ways to do that. Of course, you can also come to Wageningen and get that training just as on-campus students. But maybe you have very good facilities on the place that you work, and maybe you can do think of a kind of a sandwich construction on which you do the first part, thinking that the proposal part in Wageningen under supervision of your of a staff member, and also the writing, but perform the actual experiments on your company, using the material also of your company, using the crop. You can also think of other constructions like the other way around, doing the planning phase and the writing phase at home, and coming to Wageningen to perform the experimental part. So we try to be flexible, and even since COVID we have become even more flexible in serving students to optimize not only the different forms of having a master thesis, but also maintaining the quality. And in general, we can say the more closely you cooperate with a staff member, the better you will be trained in science, which is the overall aim of the master thesis. So the second part of the the final piece of the puzzle, so to say, is the internship, and that's a project related to professional practice. So really how it is to work in a plant breeding company. That's 4 months of full-time equivalent. So what I mean with full-time equivalent is that you can take longer, you can spread it out over a longer period of time, but it's equivalent to 4 months if it was done full-time. So it's 4 months, you arrange it yourself, and there comes a large advantage for the persons who are already working in a plant breeding company, because they can perform it on their own company and use, let's say, the work that they already do with the material and the environment that they already are working in as the basis for their internship report. And if you don't work with in a plant breeding company, you finally, you can see a company from the inside work together with them for a certain amount of time. So let's zoom in a little bit on how these courses are built up. Well, the courses in the first 2 years of the program, they have a weekly task of 20 hours per week. So it's up to you whether you study during every evening or during every morning, or preferably maybe one day in the start of the week and the remainder at the end of the week. That's up to you. So you have a weekly task to finish, usually with deadlines at the end of the week, typically Sunday night. And what are the materials then to study? Well, you can have watch knowledge clips. So these are clips especially recorded for this purpose, for this course. You can use books, e-books, or other online material. there will be assignments to do for yourself or to hand in, or to do together with fellow students. There's a discussion forum, etc. And there are some tests. So at the end of the course, usually as a standard, at the last Thursday of the course, there's an exam, which makes up a large part of the mark for that course. So on the right you see a screenshot of how that looks like with the different components, and also a clock giving a time estimate on how much time you need to spend or are expected to spend on this specific topic. And a checkbox to check off for yourself when you have done this. So this was about the courses, and also showed you in that there were specific skills weeks. So for scientific writing, or for argumentation skills, or project management, what you usually do there is for some for all of them, you first receive some information, like training, how to do things, clips, online materials and assignments, and then you practice by indeed, if it is, for example, presentation skills, indeed preparing a presentation and giving that presentation, and while you record it. And that first presentation is then not graded, but you will receive feedback, and you will also give feedback to other students. And then you summarize that in a reflection report, and that reflection report that will be handed in. So that's more or less the approach for the skills. Then I also mentioned indeed the Wageningen weeks. These are practicum weeks, and you'll be trained in, we have a program that you all follow. Maybe you have a lot of laboratory experience already, but then you can help your fellow students. Maybe you work in groups or in pairs, and then that part is easy for you. Maybe it's all is new for you, so we have a program with the greenhouse activities, laboratory activities. You'll be finally visiting Wageningen campus, which is very nice. We have some excursions also within the Netherlands. And of course, this is the first time that we actually meet in person. So it's a very nice week usually, and full of also social happenings and events. So that's very nice. The second year WURweeks, it's basically the same recipe, but at that time you're in the middle of the designing of plant breeding programs project. So you will be presenting the proposal to the other groups, and you will really can sit together with your supervisor to really start off this project, which will continue then online. And it's also a good time to orient on year 3 and 4, so in finding a thesis topic, for example. So that's basically what we want to say. So to summarize, the program, it's an international accredited program. It takes typically 4 years. It's part-time, but it's very intensive. So if you already have a full-time job, then it's pretty hard to do this on top of it. But maybe there are some possibilities in combining your work and the study. So discuss it with with your boss, so to say, and because what you will learn, you'll receive an academic focus on plant breeding, and this can boost your career enormously. So if that appeals to you, then I invite you to be part of the new learning.
Okay, thanks Jan Kees. In the meantime, I've received several questions already in the chat, so thanks for the questions. There's a question on the English proficiency. Do I need a fresh English proficiency certificate if I graduated from an English-speaking university in the same year I apply for my master's at WUR? In general, yes, there's only very few countries for which it is not required to submit an English test, but in general you have to take into account that part of the application means that you need to provide an English test result as well. It does not have to, it depends on the test. So most of them have a validity of 2 years, but if the English test is older, then it is required to do a new one. Then possibility to apply for grants. Yeah, I showed a slide with the link to that. So basically, if it's grantfinder.nl, if you type that in Google, then you will get to an overview of the options that we know. But on the other hand, it may also be that your country specifically has scholarships available for international study. So yeah, there may be other options as well to find information on possible scholarships. And then we have a question, actually 3 questions from students with different backgrounds than necessarily life sciences. And maybe Jan Kees, maybe you, I think the first one, process and food technology, that sounds a lot like it would fit better with the online master on food technology, I assume.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So it can, of course, mean that you are looking at a career shift or a study shift in this case. So we have to see what your background in genetics and maybe statistics and
plant physiology as well.
Plant physiology. So it's probably a human physiology more than plant physiology. But yeah, we have to see what's
possible.
What's possible.
Yeah, it sounds like that the online master in food technology would be a better fit in this situation.
Yeah, but of course, process technology it can be close to biotechnology.
Yeah.
Which.
So basically, to get a more detailed answer, it's maybe better to send us an email and. Also provide some more detail on your current bachelor, and then we can continue from there. This sounds slightly related. We also received questions from somebody with an IT background or a Bachelor of Science in International Business with statistics. But yeah, in those cases, I think bachelor level courses in the fields of plant physiology and genetics are needed in addition to these bachelor degrees to be able to start with the online master. What do you think? Do you agree, Jan Kees?
Yes, generally I agree. Of course, you never know the background of the person and the motivation, because that's of course leading, so to say. Yeah. But if you have this as a study and already work in the agricultural sector, and you know that, and you think it's really appealing, then it's a different story, because then we better understand it. But it's not a logical background, so to say. So. Yeah, but maybe I don't know which countries you are coming from, but maybe there are possibilities in your home country to do some additional bachelor level training in genetics and plant physiology, to qualify for admission to the online master in plant breeding. So that's the questions that we received so far.
yeah, maybe there are other participants that still have some questions. We still have some time to answer more questions. I don't see any other questions coming up.
Coming up.
Then maybe we can conclude it was all clear, everything else was clear to the listeners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a lot of information on the website,
yeah,
also
true.
Specifically about the requirements and the English, also on how to apply, what all needs to be handed in for this, to apply for this master. I think the deadline is mid-June.
Yeah.
So it's upcoming, but there's still time to gather all the essential information.
Yeah, and if you come across questions after this webinar or want to know more, then you can always contact us through the website. There's a contact button on the website of the Online Master Plant Breeding where you can type your questions, and then we will take care of the right answers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe for now, if there are no more questions coming in, then thanks a lot for your attention, and hopefully this webinar was helpful in making up your mind on deciding to continue your studies. And yeah, we're looking forward maybe to welcome you online or live in Wageningen. So thanks for listening.
Thank you for participating.